Today we will make fresh garden curry. This is my favorite thing to make in the late spring, summer, and the fall. And it's always different because I can go out to my garden and just pick different type of vegetables for the curry. So I'd like to encourage you to do the same. You can use a lot of different things in your curry, and just keep in mind, think about the textures of the vegetables that you're using. For instance, this squash here, the patty pan squash, is going to be perfect for the curry. It has a high moisture content, and once it cooks down, it's going to be a little bit on the soft side. But I like to mix this up with other vegetables such as beans and carrots. They all are going to take on a different texture in the curry. Now, if you don't have kaffir lime leaves, you can get those at your Asian market. If you don't want to go to your Asian market, you do need to kind of put some kind of citrus inside it. So you want to maybe put some lime zest or maybe some lime juice, something to kind of wake it up a little bit, okay? And we're going to use basil. Basil, I think, is a must-have. So if you don't have Thai basil, you can get that at your Asian market, or just use your basil that you are growing. We'll go ahead and prepare our vegetables. I'm also adding to this some red pepper. It's a sweet pepper, and I thinly sliced it. I am adding some shiitake mushrooms as well, and I'm making this for my family. So this is not normally how I would make it for myself. I'm not putting a lot of heat in here, and I'm not using fish sauce or any kind of things that could have an allergen in it. My family has allergies to fish and seafood, so I'll just walk you through this and show you how I like to make it for my family. So this is some rice. I'm going to go ahead and cook jasmine rice. Follow your package instructions for that. The curry comes together in about 15 minutes, so I usually cook my rice first and just leave it sitting aside with the lid on while I cook the curry. In your skillet or a wok, you'll put your cooking oil. I'm using a high temperature safflower cooking oil, and we will then add our paste. I showed you how to make this in an earlier video. You can certainly buy this at the store, and I'll show that to you in just a minute. We'll just cook this down for about a minute until it smells really good, and then you can add your meat. I'm using chicken thighs. I personally, myself, I don't really like meat in my curry. I could eat just all vegetables with a lot of bamboo and some hot peppers, and that's how I like it. But this is for my family, and I have a growing teenage boy and a husband who loves this dish, so I am putting a lot of meat in here for them. So here's the curry paste. You can find this just about any grocery store these days. So I'd like to encourage you too, if you have some ingredients coming out of your garden like lemongrass or shallots, garlic, you can take this paste and add a little bit of those ingredients to the paste and kind of make it your own. So after the chicken has cooked for just a little bit, we are going to add in some coconut milk. I like to use the real coconut milk and not the light coconut milk. And I'll go ahead and add my carrots. I kind of like my carrots to be a little bit soft in the curry, so I'm going to go ahead and cover these up and let that cook for about 4 to 5 minutes until it's looking really nice and glassy and shiny. And then we'll add in our green beans, a little bit more milk. Now I'm adding the vegetables about 3 to 4 minutes behind each other, just because I like to let them take on different textures. So I don't want to have anything too overcooked, so I like to kind of stagger it in this way. I like a little bit more of a wet curry, so you will see me covering this up a little bit as I'm cooking it, because I like all of my vegetables to just swim around in some coconut milk. If you don't like it that way, maybe you like it a little bit drier, you can just let a lot of that moisture evaporate and it'll be a little thicker. I've been cooking it about 10 minutes so far. I'm going to go ahead and add my squash. I actually cut that in 2 different ways. I thinly sliced the squash, and then I also cut it in wedges just to have, again, a little bit more of a texture going on. Put my shiitake mushrooms in there, and my kaffir lime leaves. If you use kaffir lime leaves, you can just tear out that stem and just put your leaf in there, but I'm going to remove them, so I kind of tore them horizontally and left the stem intact so that I can easily remove them later, just because I'm cooking with my family. I personally like the kaffir lime leaves, but I take them out for my family. Now I'll just add some more coconut milk, and we'll want to get these flavors coming together. I'm going to add a whole can of bamboo. We'll go ahead and get this cooking real good. And I felt like I wanted it to be a little bit creamier, so I always try to keep a can of coconut cream on hand just so I can adjust something when I'm cooking it. All the coconut milks are so different, and I don't buy just one brand all the time because I can't always make it over to the Asian market, and sometimes I'll pick it up at the grocery store. And I found that some of that coconut milk is not as creamy as I prefer, so I like to keep a little bit of coconut cream on hand just to kind of adjust the sauce when I cook it. So now we'll do a taste test, and I'm going to put a little bit of sugar in there with some salt. And normally you would use fish sauce. I've kind of stopped using fish sauce because my family, my kids have allergies. I have one that's allergic to fish, the other one's allergic to shellfish. So I kind of stay away from anything that comes out of the water when I try to feed the whole family a meal. So that's why I'm doing that. But certainly add fish sauce. You're going to get a much richer flavor if you use your fish sauce. So here we go. My favorite part is the basil. I really think you need to have a lot of basil in here. It kind of really makes the curry. It's just wonderful. So add your basil, let it wilt down a little bit, and we are almost there. So I like to eat it over just a little bit of rice with a lot of sauce, and it's so good. So I hope you can try this. I'll probably upload another recipe soon on another way you can make it. I did one for you last fall. It was a seasonal for the fall, and so this is kind of my summer curry. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.